Today's Animal Spirits is brought to you by YCharts. New feature. They've rolled out guided workflows across the platform. What is that? I'll tell you. These are high-impact tasks, such as building dashboards. I love my dashboards. Customizing portfolio views, and navigating their tools way more efficiently. At YCharts, they're all about saving time, increasing confidence, and obviously unlocking the full potential of this powerful platform.
So whether you're exploring YCharts for the first time, and remember, if you are exploring for the first time, tell them 20% off if Animal Spirits sent you.
Yeah, tell them. We have 20% off. Just tell them.
Maybe you're training a teammate. You know, we've had new people come on board and use YCharts.
Ben, this is like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer tells George to go to the glasses store and tell him Kramer sent him.
That's right. Anyway, so guided workbooks means quicker onboarding, fewer support questions, and more time spent actually using the insights that grow your book. Great for financial advisors. Remember, click the link in the show notes, try guided workflows for yourself, 20% off that initial YCharts professional subscription when you mention Animal Spirits.
Tell them Kramer sent you.
That's right. Summer of Michael. Welcome to Animal Spirits with Michael and Ben. Michael, every week you and I do a lot of preparation for the show by filling a Google Doc, as regular listeners know. I don't know how many pages we have this week.
29. Kind of light.
29. Okay. But sometimes it's just like a buffet of anecdotes and articles and charts, and it's just a jumbled mess. And we kind of just jump from topic to topic. And there's a little bit of that this week, but there's one resounding theme that I noticed as I was trying to fill the doc and refill it again this morning and put some more stuff in. And the theme is, and I think this is like one of the big trends in just household finances and maybe of the economy in general.
Hang on, we talking recent themes or?
Yeah, this is a theme that's been growing. It's just there's too many rich people. I think every category we have something, and I want to sort of weave all these stories together and then at the end give a grand sort of thesis here. But that's just my takeaway from this week's trend, is that everything is sort of coalescing into there's too many rich people, and it's having an impact on a bunch of different ways and sectors.
Can I, Daniel, you mind making a meme here? I want the meme of the guy pointing into the mirror, put Ben's head on him, and the caption is, "You're middle class."
Okay. That's not bad. But, right?
On.
We'll get into this. No, I'm just planting the seeds here. That's where we're going. We're going to take you on that ride today on the show. And then at the end, I'm going to tie it in a nice, neat bow for you. That was a teaser.
Okay.
Foreshadowing.
I love it. Well done. All right. Here's another theme that we've been discussing. I'm going to describe this rally as a nervous rally. It doesn't feel euphoric. And as I'm saying that, I hear the voices in the back of my head, the listeners that I'm making up and the listeners that might be real. Michael, what are you talking about, a nervous rally? Are you seeing XYZ?
Bitcoin, the AI bubble.
I mean,
NVIDIA.
You don't have to squint to find pockets of what's bigger than excess? Can such a thing exist? Infinite
Jim
excess?
Cramer came out with a new acronym last night that is going to apparently take the market down.
Yeah, it certainly seems like there is, if you just were looking at price, for sure, the chase is on, okay? Like, last night, I took...
But doesn't that always happen off the lows? The whole chase is on thing where we always get a massive bounce from bear market, big correction.
Yeah, but
that always happens.
Before all-time highs, you bounce, and then it's like, then what, right? Like, let's see how it behaves over the next XYZ days, weeks. But the market won't give back anything. We had tariff-related news on Friday, or I can't remember when. Market was down for a second.
The stock market can't even bother to pretend to care about
Trump was talking
anymore.
about tariffs are back on Europe and Canada over the weekend at 30%. I think there was the story. Futures, this was Saturday, so who knew what futures were going to do, but they did nothing. Market was up yesterday.
The stock market does not think those tariffs are coming. Otherwise, right, it just doesn't believe anything anymore.
So I was at the movie theater last night. Took Logan to see Superman in IMAX. We'll talk about that later. And in the theater, while I was in there, there was a massive, massive rainstorm. torrential downpours, which was sorely needed because it's been humid as anything over the past couple of days.
That's a middle-aged dad comment to make.
Well,
we really needed that rain.
I'm gonna tie it back. We did need that rain, and guess what? This market needs. This market needs a little rain. The VIX is at 14. Everything's going up. If you're not making money right now, I don't know what you're doing. And we could use a little slap on the wrist, and maybe we'll get it, or maybe we won't.
So you want like a healthy 5 to 7% correction?
We need it. We need it, baby. All right. So getting back to the nervous rallies.
The funny thing is though that the things that people think we need, like we rarely get them on time, right?
Yeah.
It rarely happens like that.
True.
You know what we could use here, and that doesn't happen.
So we spoke about the S-Tax index from Schwab last month, and we got an update last week, and it's more of the same, Ben. So here we go.
Stacks.
I'm S-Tax.
You always mess these things up. Every time there's an ETF or you always try to say a letter and then the word afterwards, and you always screw this up. My mom always messes up sayings. Like you're like my mom in this. You know, like she can't ever get the saying. I guess you're kind of like that.
You're talking about K-Web and Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guilty as charged.
What did you call it? The grain of sand instead of a grain of salt?
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of sand?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is from Schwab. As the S&P 500 index set new record highs in June and climbed more than 5%, Schwab clients gingerly dipped their toes in the water but stayed cautious. The Schwab Trading Activity Index, S-Tax, climbed for the first month after 3 straight declines, but by less than 2.5% and not much above May's 2-year lows. So, of course, we've got a rip-roaring bull market, and at least Schwab investors, now maybe Robinhood investors are different, but Schwab investors are being ginger.
I was getting ready to pull the Robinhood chart on you and tell me that people are nervous.
Well, okay.
Do you know how much Robinhood is up over the last year?
300%?
350% in the last year.
NVIDIA set new highs in June, but Schwab clients sold...
Robinhood is up 127% in 3 months.
Don't tell me, sir. I am a market watcher, okay? This might be news to you, this Robinhood stock. It's not news to me.
I bought at the IPO, damn it. I should have held on through that 95% crash, and then I would have been made whole.
All right, so NVIDIA set...
Do you remember that when we had the whole thing and I brought the IPO?
Yeah.
Wait, listen, are they bigger than Coinbase yet or not? That was my other thing.
Mistakes were made. Coinbase hit 100 billion. I think Robinhood is right. There's neck and neck. All right, here we go, Ben. Clients.
Robinhood's sorry to keep interrupting. Robinhood's at an $88 billion market cap now. What did it go public at?
10 billion? 5
50?
billion?
4? Yeah, I don't know.
No. Was it that? All right. Anyway, the AI giant. So clients sold shares of the AI giant by a large margin for the second month in a row. Infotech was the biggest net sell sector on a dollar basis for the 5th month in a row. Are you listening to me? For the 5th month in a row, technology stocks were the most sold sector at Schwab, which is the second largest or largest asset management custodian on the planet. Okay, so it is a nervous rally with pockets of euphoria for sure, and maybe not maybe. This is what is keeping a floor under the rally, is the fact that people are just not being let back in, and that is what happens in a bull market. It doesn't let you back in, and that is why the chase is on, because it won't let you back in.
It's almost the Isaac Newton thing too, of the people who did sell or have been selling, and then it keeps going up. Then they go, "Oh shoot, I got to get back in." Right? Isaac Newton did it with the South Sea bubble. That's what happens too. That's why the chase happens, because you know what? I'm up 40% in 7 weeks. Take some money off the table here.
Yeah.
And then for the next 2 months, it goes up again, and you go, "Oh crap, I got to get back in now."
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right, Ben. This is another theme on the show that we've been talking about, not recently, but forever, about how we need more people in the stock market. I mentioned listening to Bernie and Rogan last week, and a lot of ire cast on our corporate overlords. Get in the stock market, people. And I know our listeners are in the stock market, so this is, I'm preaching to the choir. But it's for the shareholders, okay? And we need more people participating in the stock market. So, S&P Dow Jones indices. For the 12 months ending June 2025, the net dividend rate This is not just the increased by $44 billion. I had ChartGoat Matt make us a chart of total buybacks and total dividends. So what are these greedy corporations doing for their shareholders? I'll tell you. Over the last 12 months, they have returned $1.67 trillion in the form of buybacks and dividends to their shareholders. $1.67 trillion. Get involved, people.
So I completely agree, obviously. I thought
No, I thought you were taking the other side of this.
Yeah. Leave the stock market alone, people. But I saw someone the other day trying to say, like, this is the lowest S&P 500 dividend yield since 1999. And we know what that meant, right? But you can't look at the dividend yield anymore as a meaningful indicator of anything because there are just more buybacks than dividends. You have to add these together for the buyback yield. You can't compare dividend yields now to the past because buybacks are a form of dividend. They're basically the same thing, just in a more tax-efficient manner. All right, speaking of owning stocks, and I completely agree. Why try to fight the corporations who you know are really good at making profits and becoming more efficient over time? Just own them. So Sam Rowe pulled this from Savita at Bank of America. And she says the U.S. isn't exceptional, but corporate America might be. Corporates have either adopted or dropped out of the index. Moreover, productivity gains have kicked in since COVID, necessitated by the onset of labor inflation. They show productivity going back to the mid-1980s. And it just keeps going up and to the right, much like the stock market. Give and take here and there. But I totally agree with her that, and I think I've been trying to make this point for a while, there's a lot of things about America that's not exceptional anymore. Our politicians are not exceptional by any means. Think about the politicians we had in the past. Teddy Roosevelt and FDR and JFK and some of these people, Abraham Lincoln. And you go like, these people were like superheroes walking amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have that anymore for either political party.
Can you imagine if Teddy Roosevelt was on social media? He might have upset a few people.
He would have got canceled.
By the way, in the exceptional category, you forgot to mention movies.
Yes, not exceptional anymore, right?
Still exceptional.
No, I told you there's not many eights. But I agree with this. Our corporations and the stock market are like the one thing that we're probably most exceptional at besides spending money.
Can I pat myself on the back, if you allow me? Thank you. One of the earliest articles I wrote pushing back against the Cape Crusaders.
It's probably not around anymore, that old article, because your old Tumblr account got taken over by an Indian porn bot and they had to get rid of it.
That's a true story. Should we tell that story real quick? Because people are like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So our friend Phil Pearlman, who I love dearly, had a huge impact on my life and Ben's life. And now we're all,
too.
Because he got us.
He introduced the two of us together.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Our first dinner together in New York. Phil made it happen.
Oh, no kidding. Do you remember where it was?
I don't know. All the New York restaurants.
All right. So this is, what year are we talking about? 2014? Phil told me so Phil was at Yahoo, and Yahoo had bought Tumblr, which was like the Substack of its day. And they had this great idea where if you put the hashtag in, like AAPL, your article would feed into the Apple feed. So anybody that was searching Apple, there's like the news stories, your article would be there. Boy, did Yahoo drop the ball on that one. They could have, oh my God, mismanaged to say the least. Anyhow, I was, so Phil encouraged me to write more, to which I owe him a great debt of gratitude, for which I can never repay. Love you, Phil. And one day I was in Barry's office and I get back to my office and I see a million DMs from people that don't ordinarily DM me. That's a lot. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And so what happened was my Tumblr got hacked by some sort of porn account. And I'm not talking professional porn. These were amateurs at best, quite graphic photos. And so it was updating every 3 seconds, tagging Apple and Microsoft. And so the Yahoo servers got attacked by a porn bot, a Michael Batnick porn bot. And then I got an email from the editor. I'm like, dude, this isn't me. Okay. What do you want me to do? You
had to like lose your blog basically.
You do something. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was that shut it down for me. Anyway. So the post that I wrote, which was not on Tumblr, we could still find it. Probably we're talking 2015, 2016, maybe. I said one of the reasons why companies are earning the valuations that they are these days is the revenue per employee. And I compared, I believe it was Facebook, to the first $1 billion corporation, which was US Steel. and U.S. Steel was earning, $1.40 per employee in revenue, and Facebook was like, $37 or something loony.
Michael Semblis has 20 years of eyeing the market, and he did this retrospective where he looked at some of his most important charts and calls over the years. And the one that you and I have talked about the most, I think, that I just wanted to highlight again, is just the fact that the stock market bottoms before anything else. And he did this great thing where he went back to the Great Depression, and he showed like bank failures versus the Dow. And the Dow turned up way before bank failures stopped. And he looked at European equities in the 2010 crisis, bottoming way before the unemployment rate. And all these different, the financial crisis with defaults and savings and loans crisis with high yield spreads and all these different examples. It's a great run of charts. And then he did this other chart that has got all these different symbols on it. It looks a little bit like the Illuminati, like the stuff you see in a dollar bill. But he did all of these things, and he shows when these things happen, from the beginning of the recession and all these different financial crises, and how stocks are almost always the very first thing to go. And he was saying, this is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the years, is just that stocks start to move before the news ever does. This is one of the hardest parts about calling the bottom, because even in in April, the news didn't get completely better, right? You had one or two headlines of Trump saying, maybe I'll back off, but like there was still a lot of uncertainty when the stock market bottomed. Same thing in 2022 with inflation.
Also, a corollary to this is also makes it difficult to call the top, because now that we know this lesson, we are very quick to say, we're very quick to suggest that the stock market is always all-knowing and forward-looking. And while it is true during all of the bear markets, the market goes first, it's not always true. Like the market has predicted 9 of the last 3 recessions, whatever the line is. And this is a feather in the cap for technicals, because the fundamentals, they just don't help you. If you are inclined to time the market, you can't do it with fundamentals, because to say that they're backwards looking is an understatement.
You could still be getting good news at the top. It could just be less good news.
Yeah.
And you go, wait, why is the market rolling over? This is still pretty, they're still growing at 15%, just not 20. Chart Kid Matt at Exhibit A has consensus earning expectations for S&P 500. And look at this thing, just continues to go up and to the right.
This is something.
So obviously no one believes tariffs are going to be as high as anyone is. Like that is just, people have completely just ignored that at all. Like the whole, we're going to do 30% tariffs on that.
Nobody cares.
Right? It honestly does seem like that. All right, here's a piece that I wrote this week. I thought this was kind of interesting. I looked at, I think 2020s are the worst decade ever for bonds so far. So I decided to kind of test this theory. Because someone wrote me like, hey, I've owned TLT for the last 20 years or something, and I've been getting just slaughtered this. So I decided to look at this. And I looked at nominal returns by decade. So I did this for 5-year treasuries, 10-year treasuries, and long-term treasuries, which is like 20 plus year. Because I think there was a few years in there where like 30-year treasuries went away. And anyway, 20 plus years. And on a nominal basis, you can see these are some of the worst returns. But you have to look at this on a real basis, because the 70s, the nominal returns were pretty good. So I did this on a real basis. And you look at this, the crazy thing is that real returns for bonds were negative, like basically the 40s through the 70s. But look at how bad real returns are this decade. There's not another decade that comes close to being as bad as this. And so my question was, why aren't more fixed income investors freaking out about this? Is it just because...
I mean, you know the answer, right?
Yeah, I do know the answer. It was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Yields are higher now. People went into T-bills to hide. Yeah, I mean, if you sat through a 50% drawdown in TLT, and the thing is, TLT is still, it's been down 40% since October 2022.
Well, I don't think you touched on the answer. I think the answer is, it's the stock market.
Well,
the stock market is glossing over a lot of the pain in the bond market.
That's true, but I think part of it is too that just you see higher yields now, so you don't care as much. Right? So it's like, okay, yeah, that happened, but now yields are 4 or 5%, so it's fine going forward. And also, I just think, I think if you didn't move some of your money into T-bills or short-term treasuries, then you just weren't paying attention when those yields were much higher.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to play this, like think about if the stock market had fallen 50%. Well, and 3 years later, it was still down 40%.
Yeah.
That's TLT.
Yeah.
And obviously, well, you can hold bonds to maturity, and these are long-dated assets that pension funds and insurance companies use, and it's kind of wild to think about the fact that like this really has been the worst bond market that we've ever seen ever.
Yeah. Good observation. You're absolutely right. Ben, during COVID and in the aftermath, there was a lot of turmoil in the job market. Good turmoil, I guess, because it was the first time in a long time that it was labor over capital.
Remember all those fast food signs we were showing all the time?
The best way to
$20 an hour at McDonald's. Holy cow!
The best way to get a job, the best way to get a raise was to switch jobs. And that was the big thing, right? It was like sticky wage inflation. And if that continued to rise at the pace that it did, then we were in for a world of pain. And it's come down dramatically. Now, obviously, if you do the cumulative effect, it's still not nothing, but this is heading in the right direction.
It's funny that you think this is heading in the right direction, because a lot of people would say, no, the other thing was good news. This is bad news. But from like an economic market perspective, you think this is good?
No, 8% wage growth is not healthy.
I don't know. Some people would disagree with you.
No, I don't think so. Because the people that were the recipient of 8% are job switchers, probably on the bottom half of income. And those are the people that are most disproportionately hit by higher inflation.
Yeah, but they had the best inflation adjusted income gains too.
You think the bottom 50% are thrilled with their economic situation looking backwards? No.
Are they ever? I'm just saying they got the biggest real inflation adjusted income gains of any cohort.
True, but we know it doesn't matter because people don't think in real terms. They think in sandwich terms.
That's true. I'm just saying, if you're looking at this, I agree with you. Like
unemotionally.
The Fed chair and economists would say this is a good thing.
All right. Well,
wage inflation is going down. Most normal people would go, this is a bad thing. I want my wages to continue to go up by a higher percentage.
Yeah, but the human being knows this is
you're financing brain this. Okay. Mike Sicardi chart of the week.
I'm not financing brain this. This is real shit.
You are. I would rather see people earn more money. How's that? I think that's a good thing.
Dude. This country is upside down because of inflation. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter that people got real wage gains. They're still paying $14 for a Chipotle bowl.
But that you just said it. They got real wage gains. That's inflation adjusted.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't to their psyche.
Right. And so that's everything. That's the only thing that matters. It matters how people feel. That's it. That's the only thing that matters.
Okay. We're not going to relitigate this. All right. This is the chart from Mike Sicardi. Household leverage, liabilities to net worth, is the lowest it's been in 50 years. This goes back to 1960 from JP Morgan. This is kind of unbelievable. So we had a huge, everyone levered up to the hilt heading into the Great Financial Crisis. Obviously, you can kind of see why that happened. But now that households have repaired their balance sheets to a degree which brings us back to 1970s levels or something, like this is the whole thing. Even if we have a downturn in the coming years, households have the ability to lever up if they need to.
Yeah. Is this the 1937 analog? Where does 1937 fit into this chart?
Is it
still 1937?
Yeah, it ended in 2015 and it started again in 2020. This is just it to me. And this is why betting against the US consumer, like I would need to be given a very, very good reason. I have an anecdote here. In my neighborhood, you don't have this a lot in Long Island because a lot of your houses were just built in, I don't know, the 50s and 60s probably.
Yeah.
But in my neighborhood, it's relatively new and a lot of 3-car garages. And I take my dog for a walk all the time. And
I have a 0-car garage. Not that I'm complaining, but we don't have garages.
That's right. You have a big mudroom. This is the trade-off you've made.
You know, the jackass who built my house built a garage so narrow that you can't fit a car in there. You could probably fit a toy truck in there.
Well, definitely not a big truck, right? My point I'm trying to make here is I've seen 3-car garages and people have their garages open where they're doing stuff in the summer, especially, where they have so much stuff that they can literally fit 1 car into a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
Because their stuff just surrounds it.
Yeah.
And this is what you're up against if you're betting against the US economy. People who have 3-car garages full of so much stuff that they would rather park their car or truck in the driveway than like have less stuff.
Mm.
Right? All right. Last week, this is my first foray into this. I teased it at the beginning. Rich people who don't feel rich. I wrote a blog post about this as well. And I had a guy who reached out and said, all right, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this on Twitter, but I'm going to share anyway. And so he shares all of his stats and he gives me all of his money. And he said he makes a base of 300. He's got all these different bonuses, and a quarterly bonus, an annual bonus. He must be a software salesman or something because it's all kinds of bonuses. But he says him and his wife make like 600 grand. And he walks through all his expenses. He's got really high student loans. They pay like $5,000 a month, but he gives me his mortgage, his car payment, his utilities, gym, apps, food.
What stands out in here?
All this stuff. He pays $500 a year for a bug guy. He has a dog, but here's the thing. He also has a rental mortgage. He owns a rental house and he pays a property manager for that. So he says, listen, I make $600K a year. I have a rental property, and then I put away like $60,000 a year between investment accounts. Let's see. You can see how it feels tight even as I approach $600K because of my wife's and my student loans, and we have 5 kids. Five kids, obviously.
Bro, you're saving $62,000 a year in investment accounts.
That's the thing. So I think
this person's doing great. I understand they might not feel like Donald Trump, but $62,000 a year in investment accounts.
Yeah, plus he owns a rental property. So I think that's the idea that I think people had this. So this is the one that got me. So he said, every year I do my own tree maintenance, chemicals, lawn care, pesticides, mulching, and that's a decent lump sum. I think maybe there's this idea that like the lifestyles of the rich and famous that like once you hit a certain point, like you just pay somebody to do everything for you. And that's not really realistic. If you own another house, whether it be a vacation property or rental house, like you're wealthy. If you have the ability to own 2 properties.
Yeah, this person has money.
Wait, but he talked about doing his own stuff, and I just wanted to bring this back to myself because that's what I like to do here.
Of course.
Listen, as a man of the people, I don't have a big mudroom like you. So we realized like our mudroom is way too small, and as opposed to like trying to reconfigure and redo it, we decided to get like a locker set for because our kids' sports stuff is just out of control, right? The shoes and the cleats and the bags and backpacks and coats and everything. So I got some lockers on Wayfair. And I probably could have just paid the Wayfair. I don't know what you pay them to assemble it for you, but it's these huge lockers. You know how they look, right? One for each kid. We have 3 kids. So my dumbass is in the garage last night because we're going to put them in our garage because we don't have enough room in our mudroom. And I'm putting it together, with an Allen wrench and a screwdriver for these huge things. And I'm sweating my ass off because it's 90 degrees out and I'm in the garage. Sometimes there's trade-offs in life where you have to do some stuff yourself.
You can't pay somebody to put together a Wayfair chest. That's beyond the pale.
Right? You just have to do it and suck it up.
Yeah.
It took me forever to open the box and put everything up, and sometimes you just have to do stuff yourself. And today I feel like I have like I don't know what carpal tunnel or something from doing turning stuff. But
can I say something on the rich people stuff?
Yeah.
It depends where you live. I feel like
that's the thing. That's the response I got from so many people.
We're always talking past each other. $600,000 in one place, you could live like a king, and $600,000 in another place, you could. It just depends.
Yeah, everything is relative, right?
It's a lot of money wherever you live. Okay, let's be real.
It is,
but relatively speaking, it might not be, and that's the reality of life.
So here's one that I will give people that. And sometimes maybe you and I are too harsh on people that like make a lot of money, and it is good to see both sides. But I think there is a certain level you reach where you get that level and it feels like you're getting screwed. So Bloomberg did this thing. They did an analysis of financial aid data from 50 selective colleges. So they're looking at some really good schools here. And they show that in many cases, middle-class families making between 100 and 300 earn too much to qualify for meaningful aid, but too little to afford college out of pocket. They said the squeeze starts at 150K. When families are expected to fork over 20% for tuition. At 270K of income, families are expected to pay about $61,000 a year. Most schools cut off financial aid at about $400,000 a year of income. And they have this graph here that shows. And so you can think, if you're however you want to say upper class or right next to upper class, like if you just hit that level and then you get no help at all, because below those levels, you get a ton of help. Like the average discount for college from the sticker price, Ron Lieber did this, is like 50%. No one pays sticker except for like international students and rich people. And if you are just at that threshold of being rich, but not like super rich, I'm sure I can see going, geez, I'm getting hosed here.
So I think I'm actually very empathetic to people with money and the realities that having money is expensive, right? Like I love
That is a funny way to put it. Having money is expensive.
It
But
is.
it's true.
It is. I love success. I celebrate it. I don't begrudge these people. However, I don't want to hear any complaining.
That's the thing.
Yeah, like nobody wants to hear that shit because this pales in whatever problems these people have pales in comparison. Anybody with $60,000 household income would trade their problems for their problems. So I don't want to hear it. But
that's the thing. You can't like act like a victim.
Yeah, I totally understand.
You can say like, listen, it's not as good as people think it is, but you can't say like
keep that shit to yourself.
Yes. That's the point.
I just want to shout this out. My jet ski insurance went down by $105.
You just must be a good jet ski driver, huh?
That's a lot, no?
That's not bad.
All right, so I threw this.
What's the depreciation schedule on a jet ski?
I top tick the shit out of my jet ski.
What does that mean?
I bought it at the very peak of the market. I can get.
That's right.
I can get a new jet ski now for what I still owe on my 4-year-old jet ski.
Oh, because there was like a shortage of supply and
that's happens.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so here's a math problem that I asked ChatGPT to solve for me. I said if $4 million represents 5,000% growth of X, what is X? And now I'm thinking it might be like, well, if you could just do this into ChatGPT, how is anybody going to learn anything? Right? And it spelled out the equation and how you do it in very simple CFA-like terms and magic.
This is the stuff I can't wait for my kids. When they have a question, I want to help them through it, but I also want to like put it into this and have them show the steps.
But so that's the thing. Like there's a lot of like, remember the show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff where like you might know the answer, but like solving for it and learning and like teaching is really difficult. Is magic.
I really do think AI tutors are going to be like a huge, huge help to young children, especially families who can't afford a tutor or don't have time. The parents don't have time to help their kids. I think it's going to be wonderful for those people. All right, let's talk about the whole pay package thing. You talked a little bit about this, but I feel like the resounding conclusion already from everyone in the tech field is just, listen, Facebook is going to win. They're spending the most on AI engineers. All the good AI engineers are going there. Mark Zuckerberg is cutthroat. He's going to win at all costs. And Apple is screwed. Do you agree that that's kind of the consensus now?
Yes.
And I feel like people are making conclusions way, way too far in advance and way too soon. Listen, are there better odds on this happening? Yes. I'm just thinking through the human nature aspect of this, of what happens to all the other employees at Facebook that go, wait a minute, you're paying these 12 people this much money and our department's getting a fraction of that? Like, are we sure this is going to go? Like, remember those super teams in the NFL? Remember that one year the Eagles got like 10 Pro Bowlers?
Oh, yeah, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick team. Those guys.
Is there a chance that something like this happens at Facebook where it's like, hey, we assembled the dream team, but everyone has different agendas and they've already made a bunch of money? And is there a human nature component where this just goes wrong?
No.
That's all I'm trying to consider. You think, no, these people are robots, it's fine.
Perhaps, but where are they going to go? They're still getting the best pay package at Meta.
But is giving someone the best pay package really the best? I don't know. That's a question I'm asking. The other thing is, I'm just, no one's giving up the smartphone for your Apple smartphone, right? And the AI has to get to you somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Apple still not the best way to do it in some form? Maybe they're not going to extract as much value as they did from like the App Store. But even if Apple's behind on AI, I think pouring the dirt in their grave seems a little premature. That's all that I'm saying here.
All right. I think
people are jumping to conclusions before anything has happened yet.
My naive opinion on the situation from things that I read is that Apple corporate culture is just nothing like these other companies. They are set in their ways. It's very rigid. They're not
innovator's
innovative.
dilemma.
They're not fun. So it's hard to pour dirt on the grave of the greatest company of all time that has a $3.5 trillion market cap.
That's all I'm saying.
But they're not.
I mean, history would tell you this happens all the time.
Yeah,
now.
but they're not growing, and they haven't grown for years, and they're not. It doesn't look like they're in the game at all. So,
if
the only reason why you would say it's premature to pour dirt on their grave is just to be a contrarian, because there's no signal that they're doing anything.
Fair, but who has made the best hardware of the last 30 years? for everything.
Yeah.
The
Well,
AirPods.
hardware's not the game anymore.
But you're gonna need to deliver the AI through good hardware.
And by the way, their only growth channel is software.
But I mean, maybe that you just say, hey, like the hardware is the commodity, it doesn't matter. But somehow in the transition period, the AI is going to have to be delivered to us somehow. If you're going to have your own AI assistant, you're going to need the hardware for it.
Well, if Johnny Ive and Sam Altman unveil something that is as mind-breaking as they might be working on, then it might be time to worry about Apple. But yeah, no, listen, they're fine.
All right, so Visual Capitalist did this thing like, what are people asking ChatGPT? And nearly 1/3 is software development questions.
Wow.
It's interesting. They said the biggest gainer, though, is economics, finance, and tax, up by more than 3 times in the past year. And then the second ones are like AI learning and history. And so I'm sure if you compared this to Google, this is a way more highbrow level of what people are looking for from this thing. It's just interesting to think about the stuff that people are asking. It's like, it's not the junky stuff that you ask Google. But the funny thing is, most people probably ask more junky stuff than they do highbrow stuff.
The average person, sure.
Yeah, right. All right. Jensen Wang was on MSNBC on Morning Joe. I don't know if you saw any of this interview. He did this whole thing on AI and just how, listen, the people who use AI are going to be the ones that thrive. He said it's not likely that you lose a job to AI. You're going to lose a job to somebody who uses AI. And you probably say like, oh, that's what the guy who's developing AI would say. But I just think that, and I think you're on the team like AI is going to steal everyone's job, and we're all going to be doing nothing.
What?
But a little bit. That's kind of your corner,
dude. That's not a little bit. AI is going to steal everyone's job, and we're all. No, I'm not.
AI is going to steal your girl. But here's the thing: I keep thinking about all this stuff that we've gotten in the past 20 years or whatever, 25, 30 years, that has made us way more productive and way more efficient. Internet, email, Zoom calls, smartphones. All this stuff has made us way more efficient than we ever could have been before. And all it does is make us work more, right? It hasn't made us work less at all.
Exactly, because now there's so much more time. There's so much more time to work now.
This is what AI is going to do. There's going to be steps that you take with AI that you never would have taken before. Like people are going to be checking every single email, every single presentation, dude,
it's great for my ADD. I love it. Give me more.
But the AI is going to do the same thing. It's going to make us more efficient, and it's also going to make us work more.
Good. I love work.
That's my conclusion. All right, let's go on to crypto. What do you got here?
All right, a few things. Bitcoin is $2 trillion. Does anyone care? I mean, I know some people care deeply, but
I feel like we've kind of moved on from the market cap thing of it. It's kind of, so you did this chart here. It's kind of crazy that Bitcoin is the same market cap as silver.
Right? It's bigger than levered loans. It is probably going to pass US small cap equity. It's 2.4 trillion. Small caps are 3 trillion. This is
I consider it like one of the big tech stocks. Like once all those companies started hitting $1 trillion, people stopped worrying and caring about their market caps, right? Yeah, when they hit a big round number and Nvidia hit 4 trillion, we celebrated, or yay, fun. But I feel like people don't care as much as they used to. When Apple hit $1 trillion, it was enormous news.
Yeah.
And then you get used to it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it's happened to Bitcoin. It's also crazy though that crypto X Bitcoin is 1.4 trillion. I just keep coming back to the idea that so many people, even in crypto, thought, well, Bitcoin's not the thing, it's everything else. But Bitcoin really is the thing.
Why can't there just be another Bitcoin? Was like a dumb thing people said.
I'll just make another one.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about, and Balchunas is the goat at this and his team, about showing the data with IBID and all of the other crypto ETFs, and I think they're about to hit $100 billion, which is wild. There's still a lot of demand for Bitcoin, and it's not just coming from ETFs. Bitwise has a chart showing corporate Bitcoin adoption, quarterly Bitcoin holdings up and to the right, and of course most of this is strategy, but there's others. Mara has 50.
But this is the thing that you can. This is the innovation Michael Saylor did. Is he got other companies to do this? Like him doing it, got other companies to do it, and in turn increased the demand for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like you and I saw him in Miami, speaking at Future Proof.
Yeah.
And some of the things he said were legitimately insane. And Bob Pisani was interviewing him, and it's like, It sounds like a person they pulled off the street to talk about crypto. But so the stuff that he says sometimes sounds so insane and crazy. But what he's done, he has pulled forward demand in Bitcoin by getting people to copy him.
I don't know if I wrote this a year ago, 6 months ago. Yes, he sounds crazy, and maybe he is crazy, but he's hardly stupid. He called his shot. This is what I wrote. He called his shot. He leveraged literally the volatility of Bitcoin as a feature to create this escape velocity and this flywheel effect for issuing more shares, more velocity, more options, more demand. And it fucking worked. And it continues to work. And I am definitely not saying that it is going to work forever. I don't own the stock. But there is and continues to be a whole lot more demand than supply for Bitcoin. And
that's been the
I don't know what changes that.
The story of crypto from its infancy is just that the narrative behind it and what it will be able to do is constantly changing and evolving and never exactly right. But the belief in it is the thing that always stays true. So it's like the narrative and like it's going to do this and it's going to do that and we're going to do this with it. And even if these things don't come true, as long as people keep believing, then the narrative behind it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you one thing. We got a lot more emails about Bitcoin when it hit 60,000 than when it hit 120,000. I don't think we've got a in fact, oh no, we got one. We got one email about Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks.
You're right. It's just the shock value of it has worn off, and now people are just used to it a little, right? It's crazy.
Anyway, sign of the times, Grayscale filed to go public. And you and I don't know if it's dropping next week, had a very good call with David Lavelle at Grayscale, who was very involved in pushing the case to convert to the ETF. And I don't know that I was super duper excited to have that conversation, only because I was like, well, we've spoken about Bitcoin before. Like, all right, guess we're doing it again. And it was very good. He was a very, very good guest.
Your backhanded compliment to most of our Talk Your Book guests is, I thought this was going to be boring, but it wasn't. Good on you. All right, let's talk about real estate. Back to there being so many rich people. So I'm not going to lie. I like perusing the real estate section of Wall Street Journal, and they show these like opulent houses, and it's just fun to. So they showed that Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward's Manhattan home sold, and it was a 1-bedroom apartment overlooking Central Park. Look at the views of this place.
Jeez. It is just wild to see how like people with not like the millionaire next door live, but like people with money live. Like it is.
This is money. But it was interesting reading the article. It was interesting. They're like, it wasn't even really that this used to be Paul Newman's place. People just wanted, but so they said 3,000 square feet, 1 bedroom.
That's big.
It was listed for 9, sold for 14, 40% above asking. But then they asked the guy, like the realtor who did this. He said, listen, if you were fine having a fantastic 1 bedroom, you were never going to find a better one than this. What was crazy to us was how deep the market was. The irony, he said, was that the week of the showing took place, the weather in New York was terrible. It was raining every single day like monsoons. It was the worst time ever to launch something like this. It just shows that none of it matters.
Dude, there are so many people with money that will never have kids for which a 1 bedroom like this is highly desirable. And I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot.
So, but the thing that was interesting to me was this is a person that I'm sure deals in only rich people listings like this. And he was surprised at how many rich people showed up to buy this place. So it feels to me like this rich people cycle will never end. But I don't know.
It feels that way. It feels that way. We know it will at some point, but it's for now.
I mean, every cycle feels like this. This cycle will never end. Obviously, well, all right. Good one from Business Insider here about baby boomers dominating the housing market. They own roughly $20 trillion worth of real estate, or 41% of the country's total value, despite accounting for 1/5 of the population. Millennials, by contrast, make up a slightly larger percentage of the population, but own 10 trillion or 20%. So they're gaining. But then they talk about like what's going to happen when boomers eventually die or give up their. And it's saying, remember we got the email from the guy a few weeks ago saying about the basis. Like his parents did not want to sell their $4 million San Diego place because when they die and pass it along, you get up that step up basis. So the kids don't have to eat the capital gains taxes. So they say between 2025 and 2035, the number of boomers are projected to decline by 23%, or almost 16 million people. And then the next 10 years, 2035 to 2045, it drops by another 47% or 23 million people. So obviously, Father Time will have its say here. But they also said a lot of the kids who are inheriting these houses are like, oh God, I don't want this house. It needs all this work or upkeep because the parents have been living in it forever. I just think the next 10, 15, 20 years of this transitional phase is going to be a very interesting time in the real estate market.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of rehabs for sale, I think, in the coming years.
No doubt.
Or millennials who got boxed out of the housing market will just live in their parents' house.
Yeah.
Like, we've never gone through a transition like this before. I'm just curious how it's going to play out because I don't know.
I guess I think my take is, I haven't thought deeply about this. It's going to happen at a glacial pace.
Yeah.
Boomers will be dying.
It's not going to be all at once.
Boomers will be dying for 25 years.
Yeah. True. Maybe we need to build. But think about, do you notice all the senior living places that go up all the time?
There's a lot.
We were went to the July 4th parade a few weeks ago. And there was like 4 senior living places in the 4th of July parade.
Like advertising?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, survey of the week. We spoke about the drug surveys last week, and Ben astutely called out that it was complete BS. Somebody emailed us. I was in middle school in the early 80s, not to brag, but I'm old. I distinctly remember a survey about drug use that we took every year, I think to support Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign. My friends and I laughed about how we just said yes. We did every single drug, every single day, and every single question. Marijuana, cocaine, heroin, LSD, PCP, crack, uppers, downers, blues, reds, etc. We had no idea what these drugs were, but boy, did we do all of it. That's what you do when you are a 12-year-old boy and little old lady tells you no. Surveys are bullshit, especially surveys of middle schoolers.
That's what my friends and I used to do, but I feel like kids these days wouldn't do that because they're worried that people are it's online, so someone's gonna actually read it and bust them or something.
Yeah. Sticking with the people are rich, and this is really not that topic, but it's just people, there's just a lot of money out there. Prime Day, U.S. retailers drove $24.1 billion in online spend from Tuesday through Friday, up 30% from 2024. And there's some funkiness with it was a 4-day week, but either way, even if you strip that out, people have spent a lot of money on Prime Day.
I feel like we have Prime Day once a month. It happens all the time.
It does feel that way.
It has to happen multiple times a year. It's not just once a year.
Did you buy anything on Prime Day? I did. I can't remember what I bought. Nothing.
We buy something on Amazon every day, so probably.
That's true. All right, somebody sent this to me.
The FedEx guy knows me now. I came out to get my Wayfair stuff yesterday out of the back of his truck.
Hey, what's up, man? Great to see you.
Yeah, one of those. And being a man of the people, guess what? I helped him get the heavy boxes off of the truck.
You said that twice now. Are you saying that I'm not a man of the people? That's what it feels like.
No, we've always had this push and pull.
Were you ever a cabana boy, a bus boy, a waiter?
My first job, I was a bus boy.
Were you ever
I was a bank teller.
A valet park? A bank teller? That's not a man of the people. I worked with my hands, sir, for years. Don't tell me.
I had to count the money by hand.
Somebody sent this to us. It's a reel on Instagram. Steve is a first-time buyer. Got approved. $0 down. Okay. He bought I think it's a 2-year-old BMW. I don't know what this is. Is that a 3 Series, a 4 Series? I can't tell.
It's not even new?
No. $986 a month for 84 months.
That's a screaming deal. And it's going to break
Could
down.
Could you imagine? All right,
by month 36, that thing's breaking down, and he's going to have a $7,000.
And the dude whose account it is the broker, of course, and he's flexing for this kid, no money down.
Oh.
All right. Well, this poor bastard is going to spend $83,000 just on car payments, to say nothing of repairs and maintenance. $83,000 for a 2-year-old mid-sized small BMW. I went to Audi this week, by the way. Needed my first oil change. God, those freaking thieves. Unbelievable.
You're going to spend more on your Audi than this guy did on his BMW.
They're like, all right, it's your first year checkup. We've got the oil change, the duster, the pollen, the fluid brakes. I'm like, all right, how much is it? $1,044. I'm like, could you please break that down for me? Yeah, it's $340 for the oil change. I'm like, just do the oil change.
As a theme of the man doing his own stuff, I went to get my oil change for my wife, and there's an internal filter. And they showed me how they took it out, and then they took it out. Hey, they show you it's dirty. Hey, you need one of them? I'm like, yeah, fine. But then they said, oh, we don't have any in stock. Come back in a week. and I just put it on Amazon and bought the thing myself for $12. And guess what? I installed the filter myself.
That is good for you. Good for you.
I mean, her car's probably going to blow up because I put it in backwards or something, but I did it.
And then they tried to get me on like, oh, your car, your tire. I'm like, you know what? Don't even tell me how much. I don't want to do it. No, the answer is no. Thank you. All right. This is speaking of nothing. It's just a lazy transition. Travel. All right, there we go. We're talking travel, Ben. It's just so funny how fast things change. How decimated Delta and all the airline stocks were in the first quarter as Europeans and foreigners were not coming to the country. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I guess that's over now. Today there's so much money out there. That's from the emailer, not from us.
Don't you think that the sentiment stuff is just people are willing to change their minds on stuff so fast? Like, think about coming out of the presidential election. Everyone said New York is going way more conservative, and then immediately they're gonna vote in a socialist mayor. You can't trust people on anything they say anymore.
Sure,
right?
I don't even trust you.
Me neither.
I received an alert from the airline. Would I volunteer to take the 2:30 flight instead of the 12:45 flight? I selected a bid of $600, which was the max on the app, and thought, let's see what happens. No problem for me. I can do a little work. When I got to the gate, the agent told me she could offer me $2,100.
Jeez.
I didn't ask any questions and asked to sign immediately. $2,100 to take a flight that's 3 hours later.
Wow. Imagine being a single person.
And airports
you'd take that
days,
every time, wouldn't you?
I'm sure I told the story about when I was in Chicago, how my flight got delayed, we deboarded, whatever. It's no big deal. I am not one of these people, credit to me, that hems and haws about these things. I mean, listen, sometimes it can be a huge pain in the ass, especially if you're stuck on the airplane. But having a little delay, assuming that you're not in the airplane, just go to a lounge, do some work. No big deal.
Speaking of lounges.
Well, I guess you should say, okay, if you're with your kids, it's a big deal. Sorry, we'll qualify that.
Yes. Having a delay with your kids, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Our very own Nick Majuli today had a piece, and I think he pulled this from his new book, The Wealth Ladder, a little bit of it. He said, the death of the Amex Lounge, why the upper middle class isn't special anymore. This is really good stuff. Getting back to our themes. First of all, he calls out your Baha Mar place. He says,
my Baha Mar place.
Yeah, you've sold it to a lot of people. He says, maybe too many people you've sold. He says, I was told Baha Mar was a place to go. It's an expensive resort that has a water park, casino, and lots of dining options. The only problem, there isn't enough space for everyone to enjoy everything. If you don't book ahead, good luck getting a reservation at one of their prize restaurants. If you don't wake up early, forget about getting a chair by the pool. Picture it. You're one of the nicest resorts and one of the most prized vacation destinations in the world, and there are literal millionaires scrambling to get pool chairs at 8 a.m. What the hell is going on? Nick says, I'll tell you. The upper middle class is getting too big. There are too many people who are millionaires and multimillionaires, and there simply isn't enough space to accommodate them. Why do you think the Amex Lounge is a zoo? Mm-hmm. He's right. There's too many rich people. So he says since 2007, the median net worth of a U.S. household has increased from $173,000 to $193,000, up 11% after inflation. But among the top 10%, it went from 1.3 to 1.9 million, a 49% surge. This is why it doesn't feel special to be wealthy anymore, because there are more wealthy people. And this is why people who are objectively rich don't feel rich.
Well, because they live in neighborhoods where everyone's doing everything that they're doing, and it's expensive to do everything that everyone else is doing.
And you go, I have this, sure, but they have that. I don't have that. And that's the thing that screws with your head.
That happens at every level of the income scale.
Yes.
At every level.
That's the thing. It never stops.
Yeah. But even people without money, there's people within the people without money group that are the rich people in that group.
Yes, you're right. It never ends.
And you can make the case, and I'm not saying that anybody would go down, but just in a vacuum, that people there are happier, relatively speaking, than a small fish in a big pond that can't afford to keep up.
Oh, definitely. I told this story before. I think I wrote about it in one of my books. We went on a canoe trip in college, in the middle of nowhere in northern Michigan. And the guy who ran the canoe, he lived in a trailer park, or in a little trailer next to the river with his wife and newborn daughter. And didn't make a lot of money. He drove people with their canoes from one end of the river to the next in his bus. And one of my friends got to talking to him. And I was like, you seem to live a pretty simple life out here, you know? And the guy said, yeah, I run a canoe business. I don't make a lot of money. It's basically enough to put food on the table. But I don't want for much, and we're happy out here. And I still remember, my friend was blown away by this, wanting to go in investment banking or something. And he's like, maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. And I was too young and naive and stupid to have it even compartmentalized, but there's probably some truth in it.
Yeah.
right? Like I'm out of the rat race. I'm just out of it.
Yeah. All right, sticking with this theme, which you, Ben, were right to point out. Weisenthal tweeted, Shake Shack says its Dubai chocolate shake is the most expensive milkshake it's ever sold, and that it's had lines around the block of people waiting to get it.
Okay.
Remember Pulp Fiction? That's a $5 shake. How much is this thing? It's $9.
Okay. At Shake Shack too, at a fast food place. We had a listener of the show send me some Dubai chocolate because I mentioned that my son is really into the Burj Khalifa. So he sent us this Burj Khalifa thing and then some Dubai chocolate, which I didn't really know was a thing. But kids tried it. They liked it. Not bad.
Did you try it?
Yeah, I think it was okay. More wealthy stuff. Youth sports are a $40 billion business. Private equity is taking notice. So they talk about how Josh Harris and David Blitzer, and Harris is, I think he's the founder of Apollo. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're not quite there yet, right? But they're talking about, listen, they're buying up baseball camps and flag football fields and youth sports leagues, and they're creating a collection of youth sports properties. And they say that the youth sports industry, again, it's $40 billion. By comparison, movies grossed last year $9 billion. So just saying that this is a huge, and obviously it's kind of apples to oranges. You're not quite there yet. And this is something that I've had many conversations about because I have both daughters in travel soccer. My oldest daughter is also on the travel basketball team. So I complain about this, but I'm a hypocrite because we do it too. But it's one of those things where if you have your kid in the YMCA rec league and you go, oh, like they're one of the better players on the team, but are they being held back because the other kids aren't very good and the competition's not good? And then, all right, let's go up to the big leagues. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, my kid's not the best player anymore. Now they're on like an all-star team. And then it's like, oh, well, you need to get them trainers. That's why. So then we have people who have individual trainers for their kids because, well, my kid's going to play in college someday. The Joneses or whatever it is in youth sports is off the charts.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's and I understand because there's not enough facilities for them to do this stuff. So buying this stuff, I always say like I want to buy some farmland and build a big warehouse for volleyball, basketball, soccer, indoor tournaments because parents would pay for it.
That's a great business.
It is. You're never going to have a lack of people.
Yeah. All right, Ben. We were talking. I was talking with John. John was in Big John, our producer, was in the Bahamas, and something came up about that time that I applied to be a central banker, and this is how good my life was going in 2010. So I found the Google chat. I found it. And we're going to read the story. I haven't even read this, okay? I literally copied and pasted and I wanted to do it blind with you. So I'm going to be me and you be my friend, okay?
Okay.
All right. I heard back from the Bermuda. This is true, by the way. This is a line for line. I heard back from the Bermuda Monetary Authority. They asked me what position specifically I am inquiring about. I looked and I'm completely unqualified, but who knows?
Whatever it is, it's worth a shot. Is that the person you met with the other day?
No, it's in Bermuda.
Oh, do you mean like the central bank of Bermuda?
I believe so.
Haha, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty funny. Who knows? Worth a shot.
I thought for a sec that Michael Batnick.
No,
is that what it, I thought for a second that maybe it was a main bank there that has branches here.
I saw it in the Financial Times. There was a position for $100K tax-free. So I thought I'd shoot a resume. Never going to happen, but hypothetically, if the job was right, I would go.
And I'll visit you on the sandy beaches.
LOL.
So how did the quasi-lunch interview the other day go?
He had some good advice, by no means an interview, but he said he might be able to introduce me to a few heads. Yeah, that didn't happen. None of that happened. He did not introduce me to anybody.
So wait, you actually had a meeting with someone from Bermuda?
No.
Okay.
No, that was just, I was flailing hard. Can you imagine me, a central banker in Bermuda?
What would you have done? First day? We're cutting rates.
Let's get everybody around to Miami Vice.
We're going to double the Miami Vices on the island.
I'm going to fix this island up real quick.
All right.
I don't know how this happened, but like my TV downstairs isn't working again. I don't know if it's the wall or what. Remember my line of the TV, which I still use, but I still use the line of the TV. Now there's two lines. I don't care. Not buying a new TV. I'm having finishing my coffee.
All right.
So my TV downstairs, this is a Sony TV, and it just won't turn off. And so I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it turned on. And now I can't get it to turn on or off. It's just off. I bought a new remote. Guess what? TV hasn't been on for 4 days downstairs. I don't miss it. I think I'm just gonna.
My son has broken like 12 remotes of ours, so I'm
But I don't think it's a remote
buying
thing,
the
and I don't know
remotes
what to
thing.
do. And I think at this point, at some point, I'm gonna have to do
You
something.
need a new TV. Yeah. TVs are so cheap today. Just buy a new one. And I've just decided I'm out of the buying nice TV game because you get a new one every 3 years anyway because something like this happens. So I'm just not buying the nice high. I'm buying the lower quality ones now. I don't care.
So I did that for the boys in their playroom. The problem with like the cheap TVs is it's the speed. Like the apps just don't work as quickly and they degrade so fast. So I think that you're right in terms of like picture quality, whatever. They're all fine. I think it's like a software issue.
Buy a new TV, man.
I don't want to.
Do it.
I mean, I'm sure I'm going to have to, but anyway, what do you got this week, Ben?
Recommendations. All right, listen to Andy Samberg on Good Hang with Amy Poehler. Continue my streak of listening to just the initial episodes of a new celebrity podcast because they always get their best guests, their friends, in the first like 6 months, and then it trails off. I'm a huge Andy Samberg guy. He seems the kind of guy who's always in a good mood. Well, he's done TV for a while, and he still does. He has a podcast, and he does a lot of different stuff. But he was talking about how from the point that he was 8 years old, he wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, and that was a dream of his from 8 years old. And I think, gosh, my twins are 8 years old. They don't know what they want to do tomorrow, and I wonder if that's because you and I were both late bloomers. Like we weren't the kind of kids we weren't reading the Wall Street Journal in our dorm room in college or something, right?
I bloomed when I was approximately 29 years old.
Yeah, we were both late bloomers for sure. And I wonder what's better, like deciding from an early age, I'm going to do this, and then getting it, or like becoming a late bloomer. I guess there's probably pros and cons for each.
Right.
But it just got me thinking, like my kids are 8. What are you kids doing?
They got to get their act together. They have no ambition. Losers.
But he talked about Lazy Saturday or Lazy Sunday. It was the first viral YouTube video ever, pretty much, from SNL and I still remember to this day getting the email from my friend being like, you have to watch this. And I got to be honest, I didn't get it. Like, it wasn't funny to me. I thought his other stuff, like that one, for whatever reason, and it's still probably one of the biggest, most well-known viral videos. But I always liked Dick in a Box, of course, but I'm on a boat. And I told you to listen to that on your boat, didn't I, when you got it? But there was a friend in Chicago the week after that came out who rented a boat in Chicago and just played that song obnoxiously on a loop all day.
Like,
I'm on a boat.
As a joke?
Yeah, one of those ones like you can't tell if it's a joke or not. All right.
Have you seen F1 yet?
No, I have not.
What are you doing?
The kids are going to camp the first week of August. Then I'm going to see a bunch of movies.
So I was in the theater last night, and I was with Logan, just the two of us, at a giant screen. I'm just like, this is the best. I love being in the movie theater. That
is your safe space, right? It's your happy place.
But you got to see F1 in the theater. I think you could skip everything else. Like
I will. I can't. Yeah.
Everything else can be seen.
Give me your Superman. I still got more, but give me your Superman.
No, you can finish.
Okay. Somehow my son got into Forrest Gump, and he watched it like 3 times in the span of a week.
Tough movie. Did you fast forward?
We had to fast forward a few scenes. Yeah. But I was thinking if Forrest Gump was released today, because when it came out, it was just beloved by everyone.
Oh, the best.
And
there were some like people that tried to zag on Forrest Gump. Get out of here.
But I feel like if it came out today, because it's a movie that if you wanted to, you could nitpick a lot of it. I feel like it would get nitpicked to death if it came out today. Whereas in the 90s and it came out, people are just like, oh, this is great.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't think I need to.
Honestly,
it's in my head.
It still gives you like the goosebumps. Like it still pulls you in. I'm like, it probably didn't age well, and it still works. And my son absolutely loved it. Finally, one more. This is a dumb one. I thought I got movies mixed up. My daughter and I are still seeing all the sports movies. Which shout out to our friends at Benchmark Series who can I say this or not? Should I keep it? Okay. So shout out to our friends at Benchmark Series. I think Alex Morris pulled this up. I mentioned that my daughter and I loved watching Miracle. And one of the guys from the team, OC, works at US Benchmark Series ETFs, right? FM Investments. And they sent us a signed jersey. I just got it in the mail yesterday.
Very
awesome.
Cool.
Like made my daughter's year. She thought it was the coolest. I scored some big time cool points there. So that was a signed USA jersey. We're going to get that framed. I can't wait. So it recommended heavyweights to us after all these sports movies we've been watching. And I thought it was Little Giants. I got those two mixed up.
Oh, I love Little Giants. Heavyweights is a comedy, no?
Yeah. Do you know who wrote it?
Ben Stiller?
So Ben Stiller basically plays himself, a little lighter version of himself in Dodgeball in this movie. This was his
Dwight Goodman.
initial foray. He basically played the same character as Dodgeball in this movie.
I can't believe you're out on Dodgeball. It makes no sense.
But this movie, Ben Stiller was pretty funny. The movie itself was terrible, not funny at all. My daughter still kind of liked it. Judd Apatow wrote this movie.
Oh, Get Out.
It's a movie about a bunch
know
of
that.
overweight kids who go to fat camp in the summer, which again, this movie would never be made today
No.
because it'd be body shaming stuff. But I couldn't believe it said written by Judd Apatow, and it
So-
was not funny at all.
There was a fat camp by me. It was called Camp Shane.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Jeez.
And Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks went there.
Oh, he was in Heavyweights.
Oh, of course he was. So he actually went to that camp in real life.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I just thought another movie that never be made today. And it was terrible.
Are you super dry on shows? Because I am, and I don't mind it.
Super dry?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We just finished Wrexham again. I'm still in on that show.
What are you fixing? What did you fix?
Welcome to Wrexham.
Finish. Why does he fix? What's it called?
Welcome to Wrexham, the Ryan Reynolds soccer one. And Rod McElhenney.
Okay. So I watched Jaws 2 because I listened to the rewatchables and it was so funny. Chris, Ryan, and Simmons were just not Ryan, Fantasy. We're having a great time, like literally belly laughing, talking about the movie. So I fired it up and I forgot that I saw it. I saw it when I was very young and it completely blacked it out of my brain because it was so bad. But I remembered, like when I got to the end and did you see Jaws 2 ever?
Long time.
Okay.
It's been 30 years.
So do you remember the scene at the end where Scheider has the metal electric pole and Jaws bites down on it and it blows up?
Yeah.
So I remembered that part of it. So I saw it. I don't know if I was 9 years old. I had no memory of it. But then I rewatched Jaws. It's the 50th anniversary.
Jaws still plays. I watched that last summer again.
Okay, so they're actually doing a re-release in IMAX, which I thought about saying, but I'm not going to now that I just saw it this week. And it's amazing how good Jaws was and is, considering that it was, the first summer blockbuster in 1975, and how terrible Jaws 2 was. Like, I'm trying to think of a...
It's because Spielberg made it.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of a parallel, like in modern times, like how just an iconic movie followed by a sequel that was inexplicably disastrous.
Yeah, especially like that. I mean, they had to do the money grab for it, but you're right.
I'm
Jaws
sure it exists, but unbelievable.
Yeah, Jaws still works.
Yeah, big
to this
time.
day.
Big time. Okay, so Superman. I'm not a huge Superman guy. I'm not a big DC guy, to be honest. And I wasn't super duper looking forward to this movie, but it was a ton of fun.
Okay.
Like it totally worked. I was glued to the screen. It didn't drag. We saw it at 7:00 and Logan stayed up through the whole time. And
You liked it?
did he like it? Loved it. So, like it's not The Dark Knight by any stretch of the imagination, but it was really good. And there's been a lot of really bad Superman movies. So this rocks. If you have kids, I highly recommend it. When I get to the theater, this is what I do. I get a small popcorn, no butter, watch my weight, and I finish it probably, well, depending on when I walk in, I finish it in the coming attractions. I start the popcorn and then I finish it.
I always tell my kids they can't have any of their stuff till the movie starts.
Okay.
Don't touch it till the movie starts.
So I'm probably, I don't know how long does it take to finish a bag of popcorn? 5 minutes, 6 minutes, boom, gone. I asked Logan if he wanted some. He said no.
You like Tom Cruise?
And I have like popcorn all over the place. I get up and there's, a bag of popcorn underneath me on the seats. So in the middle of the movie, Logan asked me for popcorn. And I said, wait, popcorn? Finished it an hour ago. And he's like, no, I want popcorn. So I'm like, dude, do you really want popcorn? He said yes. So I left mid-movie to get a bag of popcorn. And I came back. Now we're at an IMAX, okay? And I come back and it is it's a light scene. So it's the theater is fully lit up, okay? You can see everybody. And I trip up the stairs. Like 3 steps in front of Logan. And the popcorn flies everywhere. And I laughed because what else do you do? It was funny. But
Did everyone in the theater laugh?
I don't think so. No.
No. Okay. I would have laughed.
Didn't play. I would have laughed too. So there's half a bag left. Anyway, Superman, good movie.
Smooth move. All right.
CF1, damn it.
It's the only one I want to see. I will. Trust
Okay.
me. Thank you. You didn't make a hard enough sale when you gave me your review, so now we're definitely going to see it.
Okay.
You can give us an update on your housing situation next week.
Okay. Animal
Inquiring minds would like to know.
Oh my God, an hour 13 on only 29 pages. We're getting very chatty, you and I. Getting very chatty.
Sorry, Duncan.
Animal spirits at thecompoundnews.com. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Duncan, and the whole production team. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the weekend.